Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning into our channel. My name is Amanda Delgado and I'm a second-year medical student at the Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University in Augusta, Georgia. And I'm really excited to be here today to share with you our COVID-19 update for December 13th, 2020. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start by jumping and looking at the Georgia COVID numbers, initially starting with this graph here in red on the right, where we see that the Georgia COVID-19 deaths have begun to plateau as well as decrease recently. We'll now go to this blue figure here on the left, where we see that there have been a spike in the COVID-19 cases in our state as a whole. Moreover, in Richmond County, we'll note that there have also been a spike in the cases. Specifically on December 7th, Richmond County actually saw the largest number of cases in a single day since the start of the pandemic, with over 250 cases. In the past week alone, Richmond County has seen over 1,300 cases in the past 2 weeks. We'll now go ahead to the numbers in the United States, where we see that there are over 16 million cases now, and several of the states have begun to reimpose restrictions, including limiting the size of small gatherings, as well as enforcing guidelines for restaurants and small businesses, including gyms. Now we'll go to our global scale, where we see that the United States continues to peak in our cases, whereas the numbers in the European Union and the UK have begun to decrease and plateau. On to our news stories for today. We'll begin on a global scale and then work our way down to the Richmond County level. So here on the left, we'll start with our first story. The first Pfizer vaccine was given to a 90-year-old woman in the UK. This historic vaccination was given to Margaret Keenan on Tuesday, December 8th, and the UK began to launch their nationwide coronavirus immunization campaign with her vaccination. So far, Britain's government has secured over 800,000 doses of the vaccine, and they plan to distribute them to frontline health workers, long-term care facility workers, and residents over the age of 80 years old. So moving from our global scale story up here to our story with the United States, we know that the FDA has issued an emergency use authorization for the first COVID-19 vaccine. The FDA has determined that the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine has met the statutory criteria for the issuance of the emergency use authorization. The data also supports that the known potential benefits outweigh the known potential risks, and so this in turn supports the vaccine's use in millions of people 16 years and older, including healthy individuals. So that's some good news for us today. Now we'll jump to our last story here in Richmond County. We wait for the vaccine in our health systems in Augusta. However, Augusta University Health has placed some non-COVID patients in the Children's Hospital of Georgia just to relieve some of the stress that has been caused by the recent coronavirus surge. AU Health is now allowing admittance for patients over the age of 30 at CHoG, whereas the initial requirement was for patients to be under the age of 25. And so this is one of the ways in which we are trying to relieve some of the stress from the recent coronavirus surge here in Augusta, Georgia. And so to wrap up today, we'll end with some good news in which the Family YMCA of Greater Augusta will have free shelf-stable meals and snacks available at area YMCA locations throughout this holiday season. It's part of an effort to support families as COVID-19 and the winter break closes schools, where a number of kids get many of their meals. So I'm really happy to share some good news with you today. And as we wrap up with that, here are the references that we used. If you have any interest in following up on some of these stories, I highly encourage you to go read them for yourself. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in our messages. I encourage you all to subscribe as well, and I hope that each of you have a safe and wonderful holiday season. Take care.